Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the session. I hope so for the online, my voice is clear for you. Can you please confirm in chat box whether I'm audible or not? Fine. So in the last class, we have done with Docker Swarm. So in today's session, I'm going to teach you the project in Kubernetes. See, not Kubernetes, Docker actually, Docker Swarm. From tomorrow, I'm going to start Kubernetes, okay? So just I'm creating the cluster one more time, but this time for the project, I'm taking a T2 medium because it's project. Na? So I'm gonna have some lot of containers. That is the reason I have taken T2 medium, but T2 micro also fine. In your practice, you can go and do with the T2 micro. Okay. So I'm gonna take one key pair with security group all traffic I'm allowing with different port numbers. There you go. So first of all, I'm gonna teach you the architecture, like how exactly this architecture is going to work for you. And trust me, the project is going to be very, very easy. You don't feel it's going to be very, very difficult. Just like your Ansible project. We have done Ansible project in 2 days, but this half an hour is more than enough. How much of time? The only intention of mine is to understand how the automation is going to work. Okay. So, initially it is a microservice project. Like let's take, we have 4 different services: movies, fine, DTH, and recharge. I'm going to show you how exactly the flow is going to happen in the real-time organization. So the first step of any organization is to go and give the code actually. We have 4 different services: movies, prime, DTH, and recharge. So I have 4 different developers. These are going to work on 4 different services. But at the end of the day, these people are going to put the code to the GitHub, which you already know. So how to put the code from local to GitHub, we are already seen in a lot of sessions. So here I have 4 different developers. These people are gonna write the code on their local laptop, but at the end of the day, these are going to push to that is just step number 1, which you already know generally. From the GitHub, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the code to the Jenkins. So by using continuous integration, that is also already, So it's my Jenkins server. Let's take what I'm gonna take it as Jenkins. And here I'm using the front end code. So no need to worry about the artifacts. Artifact is for which you have both front end and back end. But here I'm going to take only front end code itself. Of course, if you want to take back end also, use our Netflix clone. So it is my manager node. Which node? In the manager node itself, I'm going to install Jenkins. That means I'm going to use both at here. So manager as well as Jenkins. Fine. So the Jenkins will be taking the code itself. So code, converting of a Docker image, everything like it's gonna do. And after that, you are gonna deploy the containers to the worker node itself. To which nodes? Let's take it is my worker node 1. It is my worker node 2. Okay. So let me attach them here and here. This is how the thing is going to work. So first of all, you will be taking the code from the GitHub. So once the code is given to the GitHub, then it is gonna take to the Jenkins. Now what Jenkins will do? Jenkins will do the image creation process automation. What it is going to create? And one more thing I want to tell for is we need to upload that image to Docker Hub also. Just give me a second. I need to remodify this diagram. Wait. I'll take like this. That is the manager node. And this will be my worker nodes. This is my worker node 1. It is my worker node 2. I'll explain the flow one more time. There one thing we need to conclude. Here this connected to manager actually. So from the GitHub, what we generally take, we take the code itself. What we take? After taking the code from the Jenkins, we are gonna take the code, build the image, tag the image, and push it to Docker Hub directly. To where we are going to push? Why we need to put the image to Docker Hub? Means, for example, if your image is not on Docker Hub, how will the worker nodes get the image? Right? In worker node also, you are going to create container. But in worker node, if you don't get the image, how will the Docker will create containers? That is the reason. From here, we are going to push the image from Jenkins server to Docker Hub. It is what? My Docker Hub. like this. Okay. So for this, we are going to write the pipeline itself. What we're going to do? So this entire concept, whatever you are going to do, the entire thing need to be done with the help of single click only. That's it. So first thing first, here I'm going to explain the project architecture one more time. So listen, initially developers will give the code to GitHub. From the GitHub, we take code to Jenkins. And from the Jenkins, we take the code, we build it, we tag it, we push it to. Once the Docker Hub is having the image, we are going to deploy the application to the cluster itself. Okay, that is a sequence. So here we are going to have the repository for the entire project. So you can use that repository. Let me give this for all of you. Wait. If I go to my GitHub DevOps Beraham Docker project. If I go to here, um, Docker project, Docker MS project. So this is the repository actually. So in this repository, you have the complete information and complete details about the project. If you go to here, you can see the process. Process is indicating how to do the project. Okay. First of all, in the project here, you need to create how many servers and install Docker on all of them and make them as cluster. Let's do the first thing. So I already have 3 servers just now created. So I'll be going to let me open 3 terminals. Why? Because I have 3 nodes which I need to set up Docker. So I'm using 3 terminals here. Okay. So here I'm giving the names also. What is the name? Server number 1 here? Manager. And in the meanwhile, try to see the pipeline concept one. Why? Because here we are going to use pipeline just to do the entire process. Just see the syntax actually. It's gonna worker 1 is gonna worker 2 itself. So I'm gonna connect with all of them one by one. Online, is my voice clear for all of you? Can you please confirm? Okay. So finally, manager. So tell me the command to install Docker, sir. After installing Docker, you are going to start it and you are going to set the host name. Host name. Why? Because without host name, how to identify the servers? Is it practically possible? No. So to execute multiple commands, multiple servers, which concept we gonna use in Mobile stuff? Multi execution mode. Fine. So let me click the multi-execution mode and use it. So go for sudo -i and try to install Docker. So, install Docker -y. Speaker is far, like, okay. Systemctl start Docker. And if you want to check the status, just use status command. Systemctl status. Fine. Status is working and give host name ctl set -host name and try to give it for the host name. Like first one is manager. Second one is worker one. And later can give it for worker two. So now it's worked now. So now come out of multi-execution mode. So now you need to cluster them. How to cluster them, sir? Which command we need to use? Docker swarm init. This is the command that is going to make it as cluster. Now copy this token to all the nodes. So now everything is going to join as a cluster. So you can go and give the command docker node ls. Are you seeing three of them activate now? Which you already seen in the last class and you know the complete process also. So this is the step number 1 in the project. So here we created 3 servers and with the T2 medium and I'm going to install Docker and I'm going to make it cluster on all of them. Second one is going to be installing Jenkins in the master. So already I have the script here. What I'll be doing, I'm directly taking the script and I'm directly executing it on the node itself. So let me go and run this Jenkins in the which node? Vim jenkins.sh. So now Jenkins will install. And one more thing, in real time, you can maintain Jenkins separately or you can install Jenkins here also. Of course, maintaining separately is fine. But even if you want to install, you can install. That's completely fine. And one of the craziest thing is yesterday, one of my known person attended the interview. Okay. And what is the first question they asked about Jenkins, How do you change the port number of Jenkins? And that is up to 3 years of experience. How much? What is the first question? How do you change the Jenkins port number? Do you know how to change? Yes. Tell me the steps to install Jenkins. How do you install Jenkins? First of all, you need to install Git Maven Java. Step number 2 is downloading the repo. Step number 3 is installing the Java and changing the version. Step number 4 is so this already we seen lot of times how to install Jenkins. And other question is what is Jenkins LTS? LTS stand for long-term stability. This I said in the very first class and very second class of Jenkins. These questions they have asked. And how do you integrate different tools with the Jenkins? By downloading the plugins. Okay. And one of the other question they asked is how do you schedule the builds in Jenkins? Round job. And if Jenkins build got failed, how will you check it? By go to console output logs. And one more thing, if you don't have console output, you can check the logs on Jenkins server also. In Jenkins server also, we have log for each build. Remember this point. And other thing is, how do you restrict the user in Jenkins? RBAC concept, right? These questions has been asked for 3 years of experience in the final round. Which round? But how much of experience you are having here? 0. But are you able to answer the questions or not? If you have a chance, try to attend the interview for experience levels. Tell them you are 3 years of experience. Of course, even if you are fresher, create a resume and try to upload. Try to attend those interviews. Now you will get some kind of confidence. Okay. Here, like I can easily able to crack a 3 years of experience. So pressure is going to be very, very easy for me. Okay. In the initial time of our demos, I said the same thing. This course is equivalent to 3 years of experience. Now the questions, what they have asked, they send me the question and the same question I am asking you know. Of course, some of the questions asked from Kubernetes also, but you don't know what is Kubernetes now. At the time of Kubernetes, I'll tell you what are the remaining questions. So fine. My step number 2 is also done. What is step number 1? Creating the servers and clustering them. Step number 2 is installing Jenkins on the manager node. That is called as master actually. Now here, I think all of you know how to create custom image, right? So this already we've seen. Take Ubuntu, update Apache and copy the index.html and move it to var www.html. Now from the Apache CTL, you are giving the input to run the service on foreground. So index.html also, you know, you need to use W3 schools. Which one? So here, if you go and see, I have the Docker file here. Are you seeing the content on Docker file? In the same ways, I have the index.html also. In the index.html, for example, let's take developer is giving the movie service now. Which service? So I'm going to name it to Paytm movies. So developer has given the movies code. Now what he's going to do, he's asking me to build the image and push it to Docker Hub. Sir, first of all, you have the index.html, you have Docker file. If you want to build the image and push it to Docker Hub, what is the first thing you're going to do? You're going to build it. After building, you're going to tag it. After tagging, you're going to push it. These 3 process. All of you know these 3 comments. How to build the image? Tell me the comment. Docker build -t, name of the image, dot. And how to tag? Docker tag, name of the image to repository. Username and repository. And how to push it? Docker push, name of the repo, what you want to push it. So you know these 3 comments, right? But this process you have done from the CLI in manual way. But I'm going to make it automate. Automation means do the process through the pipeline itself. Can you tell me the syntax to write pipeline now? Only you need to tell. I don't tell anything. You need to tell on your own. Let's see how many of you are going to tell. Raise your hands. How many of you are able to tell? So I'm going to ask the random persons then. I have captured all your hand raises. I'm going to ask the random persons. Okay. Let's see. So first of all, I'll start with my favorite student here. What a following tapas you are having. Eh? Only for me. Eh? Oh. I made you famous. Eh? Then when you are going to make me famous? Huh? By my work in future. Okay. I need to keep praying the God since now. From starting from now. Okay. So click on new item and it's gonna be Docker pipeline. I'm gonna take it as. So take it as pipeline. So tell me the structure of pipeline, sir. First of all, what is the shortcut? Pass, right? So P for pipeline. Already you know how to write the syntax, right? What I'll be doing is I don't write the syntax. I'll click on try sample, click on hello world, remove this hello world and put the stage checkout. Very easy. Instead of typing and wasting your energy, do it. Instead of hello world, what you can do is if you click on GitHub plus Maven, are you seeing the GitHub plus Maven here? This also you can do. And if you click on drop down, you can go for scripted pipeline also. Okay. So like this, you can do whatever you want. Okay. So, but I'm going to go with the hello world. Why? Because it's already having predefined template. What is the stage number 1, sir? Checkout. I'm going to explain the step-by-step process for you. So here I'm going to go it for Git and give the repository URL. So it is my repository URL. And one more thing I want to download is I want to download the stage view plugin. Basically, you know, all by default, this Jenkins will not give the stage view plugin. So what you're going to do is go to manage Jenkins, plugins, available, go for stage view. And you can download the aggregator view also. Basically, there is something called as pipeline aggregator. I'll show you what is aggregator later. Remind me, okay? Go back to the top page. Now, if I go and if I click on build now, automatically now from the GitHub, Jenkins will take the code and this code will be on my Jenkins server. Correct or not, sir? Yes. So where we gonna store this? Where live Jenkins workspace name of the job. Are you seeing the code now? You have the index.html and you have the Docker file. Like forgot about the rest of the files. This we gonna use on future. This process is not required. This is also not required. I given it for your clarity only, but these are not required. Fine. So upon then later, next click on configure. Now you have the index.html and you have the Docker file. From this, what we gonna do now? Create the image. Tell me the command to create image. Docker build hyphen t movies v1 dot. But if I do, it's going to be manual method. But if I put in pipeline, it is going to be automate, right? So click here and add the stage number 2. What is stage number 2? Build. So after stage, I'm gonna put steps. After steps, I'm gonna put sh command, right? Sh docker build hyphen t movies v1. Okay. So now after that, I'm gonna click on save. Now I'm gonna click on build now. Now automatically it is going to build, but output you gonna get failed. That is expected output only. Why? Because you are going to give permissions for the Jenkins to integrate with Docker. So if you go and see, there is a permission denied error for var run docker.sock. Are you seeing the permission denied here? This happen regularly. Why? Because whenever you are integrating Docker with any other service, you need to give service for the docker.sock. It's a port actually which communicate with Docker daemon. Which communicate with. Now how to give the permissions? Already I have given the steps in the process. So here if we can go and see in the step number 4 itself, I shown you how to give the permissions. First of all, you need to give executable permission for var run docker.sock. Then after that, you are going to give where it is. I think it's gone. Wait. Next, you are going to reload the daemon. Why? Because it is Docker socket. Na? So definitely you're going to reload the daemon and finally restart the Docker service. So execute all of them in the Jenkins manager node. This is the first command. The second command to reload, and this is the third command to restart the Docker itself. Okay. So now after you do this one, now this time you are not gonna face any kind of issues. Just simply go here and click on build now. That's it. Click on build now. Now you won't encounter any kind of issue. Is it building now? Go ahead and check the logs. Is the logs generating? Correct. So by this way, now image will be generated to local. If you go and see, give the command docker images. Are you getting the image now? No, wait for some time. It will generate the image. So once this process is done, you'll be getting the image itself. Now go ahead and check. It took 30 seconds. If I go and see, am I getting image now? Operation is performing on user interface, but output will be storing on server. Remember, whatever the operations you are performing through pipeline, that output will be storing on the server itself. Where it is going to store? Now you have checkout, you have build. Now, next, if you wanna push it, you wanna tag it. So how to tag the image, sir? Stage tag. Inside stage steps. Inside step, just give sh docker tag. You are gonna tag the image. What is the image here? Movies. I'm tagging the movies image to user call Siraj321 is the account / I'm gonna take the repo call Paytm movies. Which one? Why? Because already movies repo is there. So I'm gonna use different name called Paytm movies. Okay. So now if I click on save, currently here how many images I'm having? 1. But the moment if I click on build now, automatically now I'll get the tagged image of Siraj account. Again here what you got here? Log. Why? Because there is no such image called movies latest. I'll tell you. The reason why is if you go and see previously what is the image tag I have given, but now I have given. So do we have a mistake or not, sir? That is the reason why tagging is important. If you forgot to tag, you are going to definitely get the error. So please make sure while creating the images and tagging, you need to give version actually. Now it will execute. Check it out. Have I got the output now? Yes. Now if I go and see in the background, I'll get the tagged image. Are you getting tagged image? Now once the image got tagged, what is the final step you're gonna do? Push it to the Docker Hub. So how to push it? What is the command we can give to push? Stage will be push. Steps sh docker push, and you need to give this one now. You need to give Siraj Paytm. This is the image what you want to push now. Now again, if I go and click on save, is the image going to push to Docker Hub or not, sir? No, sir. You need to provide the credentials. Without providing the credentials, how can I push the image from local to Docker Hub? You can go and you can check Docker login is required. It is telling that access denied. Which one? Sorry, you are trying to push to Siraj account, but without authentication of the account, how can I push it? Right? So now give the command Docker login command. Which one? Here only I am giving. So let me go and give sh. No, stage is not required. Directly you can give it. Docker login -u stand for username. Username is Siraj321 and -p stand for, if I put password, that is gonna be visible to everyone. So I'm gonna take it as a variable dot dollar password. And this variable I'm gonna define in the global. I think all of you know how to define variable globally, right? I taken a variable, local variable and global variable. Now what you can do? You can go here and in the manage Jenkins, in the system, you can see the environment variables. What is the name of the variable, sir? No, name of the variable, man. Password, right? Password. And value, now I'm gonna give Siraj, is it the same password or different password? So now here I'm gonna give the like value of like password of Siraj account. So I'm gonna stop the screen sharing and offline close your eyes, all of you. It's secret information. So here if you go and see, now I have given the password in the global variable. Which variable? Global variable. And the same password is gonna call by here. So docker login -username and -give password. Now click on save and click on build now. Now automatically it is gonna authenticate and it is gonna push the image. Is it pushing now? There you go. That's it. Now in my Docker Hub account, if I go and check, I'll get the image. Let me log into Docker Hub. So we do already have the image there. In the sign in section, sign in. And if I see now, are you seeing Paytm movies now? This just now pushed itself. You can see less than a minute ago. These are the images what we pushed a couple of days ago. But this is the image I just pushed now right away. Like that. Now, this is the whole and sole process of taking the code, building it, tagging it, and pushing to the Docker Hub itself. Is the process clear now? First of all, what is the step number 1? Check out. Step number 3. So 2. Build. Step number 3. And step number 4. So it is a microservice project. You need to deploy movies, train, recharge, and DTH. How many images we have now? 4. But how many images I just now pushed here? One. That means if I want to deploy all the containers together, I need to have the rest of the 3 images also. Now what exactly I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how the real time is going to work from now. Sir, to create this pipeline, how much of time we took? Initially it took some time, but once you create the pipeline, you just simply click on build now. That is your only work. You just click on simply build now. Now let's go and do, let's take in the index.html. Now my developer has given the train source code. Which code? Train. So instead of movies, just he replaced the train service. Which service? Train. Now after this one, now what I'm going to do is here I click on directly, can I click on build now? No, I cannot click. Why? Because here inside the pipeline, I have given the movies. If I click on build now, again movies image will be builded. But I want to build here train. Tell me one thing here. Now I need to give train. Later I need to give recharge. Then I need to give DT. That means whenever the value is keep changing in the pipeline, what I ask you to take? Variables. Correct. To pass the input for these variables, what you need to use? Parameters. Which one? So these variables and parameters are like husband and wife. So if you use one, second one, definitely you need to use. Otherwise, it is not going to work for you anymore. Okay. So let me take it as variable. So the variable name is image. I'm going to take dollar image. And here also I need to give dollar where is dollar image. And here I'm going to give this repository. So I can give dollar repo. For this, I'm going to give dollar repo. Why? Because the different images are going to push to different repo. That means repo is also going to change. Just to give dollar repo. Now, how many variables I have? Two. One is image, second one is. So to pass the inputs, I'm going to go for this project is parameterized. First of all, add the parameter number one. What is parameter number one here? Image. Which one? For image, how many options you have? Movies, prime, DDH, finally recharge. And second variable is gonna be repo. What is? So first of all, Paytm movies, next to Paytm, prime, Paytm, DDH, and Paytm. That's it. Now simply if we click on save, now developer gave me the which code? Train code. So I need to build which image? Train image, and I need to send to train repo. So click on build now, select train and select train. That's it. Click on build now. Automatically train image will be builded, tagged, and push it to which repository? Train repository. And one more thing, here I'm using multiple repositories in Docker Hub, but you can do it within single repo also. But I want to give more clarity. That is the reason I have given more repositories. That's it. So now automatically if you go to Docker Hub, in the Docker Hub, previously have Paytm movies. But if I click on refresh, I'll be getting Paytm train. Are you getting Paytm train now? Inside this, are you going to see the image or not, sir? You need to check the image. Are you seeing the image? Great. Now finally, here I'll be going. Now this time developer give me the DTH source code. Which code? And I'm doing minimal changes here, but in real time, you have a lot of changes in the source code. That's completely fine. Now I saved it. Now when developer said me that, hey DevOps, we have built the source code for the DTH. So you just build it and upload to the Docker Hub. Now what we're gonna do? Click on build with parameters. Which code we have given? DTH. And I need to send to which repo? Click on build now, that's it. Guys, you really don't believe this is the work of a DevOps engineer. But when after creating the pipeline, sir, after doing lot of work, this is the beauty of DevOps actually. Don't need to do anything. Click on build now. Entire process is gonna be till deployment, taking the code to deployment. Entire thing is gonna be automated. Now finally, just go here. Now this time developer given which code? Recharge. Which one? Now click on commit the changes. Yes. Now as a DevOps engineer, we came to know that we got the DTH code. Now I'm gonna build which image? Recharge. Sorry, recharge code. Na? Fine. So I'm gonna push it to recharge repo. Click on build now. Automatically it's gonna deploy. So deploying or not, sir? Now tell me, is pipeline very easy or not? Is it difficult? No. To write the pipeline, all you need to know is inputs. If you know the input, then creating the pipeline will be very, very easy. Correct or not, sir? That's it. So is the concept of taking the code to pushing the image to the pipeline clear for all of you? Everyone. Online, can you please confirm me, is the process of creating the pipeline from checkout to push of Docker images clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in chat box? All of you need to confirm online. Okay, fine. It's clear. Now you have the Docker image. First of all, developer given the code. Based upon the code, what you have done? You created the Docker image. Now, once you have the Docker image, from the image, what you are going to create? Container. But understand a scenario. Here, are you going to create single container or multiple containers? So to work with multiple containers, which concept you gonna use? Correct. Which one? Docker Compose. Docker Compose is a tool which can create multiple containers. But Docker Compose will create multiple containers in a single server only. Correct or not, sir? But if I want to create the multiple containers in multiple servers, which concept I need to use? Swarm. That means here I'm going to use both Compose and, but there is a small litigation here. What is the litigation? You know, Docker Compose will work with multiple containers, but single server. But Docker Swarm, single container on multiple servers. So litigation or not, sir? Then how you gonna rectify this issue? What to do now? What to do? For example, there is a IPL match going and there is a Korean drama going. Husband asked to watch the IPL, but wife is asking to watch Korean drama. In that case, what you gonna do? In the middle, the game changer will come, baby. He asked us to put the Doraemon series. Correct or not, sir? Here also, there is a new concept coming into between the Docker Swarm and Docker Compose. What is the new concept here? Docker Stack actually. Which one? Stack is a concept which is gonna interlink both Compose and Swarm. Here Compose is fighting. I'll work with multiple containers, but on single server only. Now Docker Swarm is again refighting. No, I want to create multiple single container on multiple servers. There is a fight. Now what this stacker is telling, you don't fight with each other. I am there now. I'll resolve the issue. Give me your Compose file. Give me your cluster. I'm going to deploy multiple containers on multiple servers. So that is what you are going to discuss now. So the concept name is going to be Docker Stack. What is a Docker Stack here? But before that, you can go and see here. Docker file is to build the image in automation way. You know, Docker Compose is to create multiple containers on single server. Swarm to create single container on. But Stack is going to combine both Docker Swarm plus Docker Compose. So that means here with the help of the Docker Compose file, you are with the help of Docker Compose file, you are going to deploy the application to Docker Stack itself. Okay. So now let's go and do this one. For example, help me how to write the Docker Compose file. I think all of you know how to write Docker Compose file, right? And one more thing, if you want to create the volumes, you can create volumes for containers also. So for example, just to go and give Docker volume create for movies. Which volume you need to give? Movies volume. And for train, which volume you need to give? Train volume. And for DTH, and for recharge, it is if you want to create, you can create, or otherwise later also you can create. I hope all of you know how to mounting, right? After creating the container also, there you can create the volume and you can mount it to the any of the running container. Fine. So now I'm gonna write the compose file. VM docker compose dot YML. So in compose, what is the first section here? Version, I'm going to take it as 3.8 itself. After that, I need to give services. So what is the first service? Movies. So now to tell me the complete structure. image. What is the image name? No, full name. Siraj 321 Paytm movies and tag will be always latest. Next, you need to give ports. I'm gonna give port number 81 for container and image port number is. Next, if you want to give volumes, what is the volume here? Movies. Clear now? Again, what is the second service? Train. So give image. This part is common for everything now. So I'm gonna copy till here because it's common for everything. So PTM train tag is ports. Tell me 82, 80. Next volumes. Try. Next. Latest. Next. latest. Okay. Next, you need to give ports. Then port number will be 83 with 80. Guys, already you know this Docker Compose file. You learned it. Okay. That is the reason I'm writing it quickly. Okay. So just to give volumes and name of the volume will be. And finally, recharge image ports 84 volumes recharge. Correct or not, sir? Now there is one thing you need to understand. How many servers you have? No. How many servers, not containers? 3. One is manager, second one worker 1, third one is worker 2. Sir, each container, I mean like each server get like at least need to get at least one container. Now how will I do it? By adding replicas. Which one? Sir, if you want to add replicas, you need to use the option called deploy. Which one? If I give deploy replicas is equal to 3, that means I'm gonna add 3 replicas for this service. So in Docker Compose file, this is the main thing you need to understand. So I'm adding here deploy. How I am deploying with the help of replicas 3. So I'm gonna add it for each and every service. If you don't add, it is gonna deploy on single container only, on single server. So deploy replicas 3. Here also I'm gonna give deploy with replicas as 3. Finally go on top here also. Just go and give deploy replicas 3. That's it. So it is a Docker Compose file actually. So now again, this Docker Compose file is also going to given in the Docker Hub itself. Or is in the Docker Hub here? In the Docker Hub, I have the Docker Compose.yml. It is the old code, but I'm gonna give you the new code here. What I'm gonna give? New code. So remove this old code and place the new code itself. So now here, this Docker Compose file, with the help of the Docker Compose file, you are going to deploy the application. So for the Docker Compose file, we can write the separate pipeline or we can include on the same pipeline. Okay. But remember, after building all the images only, you're gonna deploy. Don't add this deploy in the starting of the pipeline. Why? Because the intention is very clear. If you want to deploy the application, you need to have all the images. First of all, build all the images, and the last stage only go and add the Docker Compose file itself. So now go and see here I'm writing the last stage. This stage you are going to write when you are going to deploy only. But for image building, are you going to use this stage? No. Just to use stage, deploy. Inside this one, I'm going to use steps. SH, how to deploy the application with the help of Docker stack. I'm gonna deploy the application. What is the name of the application? Let's take Paytm. But I'm passing the information from compose file. What is the name of the compose file? Docker compose dot. That's it. With the help of Docker stack, I'm deploying the application from the compose file called Docker compose.yml, and name of the stack will be. That's it. Now if you do, and finally you need to build this one more time. Okay. Or what is the other thing you can do? You know, if you don't want to build all those stages, If you go to stage and you can go rebuild actually. Wait. There is an option called, if you go to build number 10, the build number 10, are you seeing the pipeline stages here? And restart from stage. If you want to restart from last stage, you can also do like this. But let's build everything one more time. But this time, please build the recharge image again. What you need to build? If you build the movies image, in the source code, you are having which code here? Recharge. What you are having here? But unfortunately, if you don't give recharge, if you give movies, now movies image will be again rebuilded. So entire thing is gonna be crisscross. So rebuild the recharge one more time. Now it is gonna build the stack also. And to do the deployment of these containers, it will take barely 1 second. How many seconds? Within 1 second, all of your 12 containers will be deployed. How much of time it took? That's it. Your deployment is done. If you want to go and check, you can check. Oh, it's taking some additional time now. Wait. 12 seconds, it won't take this much of time, but okay, fine. Have you seen? Basically, these took 13 seconds, but generally it won't take this much of time. It's completely fine. Now, if you go and see, my complete application got deployed in all of these servers. If I go here and give the command docker ps-a, are you getting containers here anymore? Are you getting containers here? Why you are not able to get? Here, the application got deployed successfully. Let me go and show you the output. In the output section, are you seeing the application got deployed or not, sir? Wait. What I'll be doing is, first of all, I'll check with the manager node. Which node? I'll go with the manager node just to go and give the port number 81. Port number 81 is for which service? Movies. Is it working? No. Port number 82 is for which service? Fine. Is it working now? No. Sir, application got deployed, but why you are not able to see the output? You got success, right? Application got successfully deployed. You can see the pipeline got completely built in. That is success. But why the containers are you are not able to see here? That's what the question. Security. Let me go and show me one more time. Are you seeing any kind of containers here? Containers are not created. Nah? Why these are not created? Why? Image is perfectly pushed and pulled. But why this is not replicating? Let me show you something here. In the Docker Compose file, I'll do one small change. In the volumes, I'm going to remove these double quotes. I'm going to remove the double quotes. I'll show you how to remove the complete volumes also. But wait, let's redeploy the application one more time. Let's redeploy the application one more time. Now again, rebuild the last image only, okay? So please rebuild the last image. I'll go to security also. In security group, we have given all traffic, correct or not, sir? Now go ahead and check it out. Click on refresh. Are you getting the application here anymore? No. First thing you need to check is service. Is a Docker service running or not? Of course, service is running. That is the reason we are able to deploy. But go and check the security group here. Have you given all traffic? Is working. Are you giving all traffic here? Outbound all traffic and inbound also all traffic. But why it is not working, sir? And even if you go and see, give the command docker stack ls. Stack got created. Okay. Docker service ls. Service also created, but containers is on which state? Running or stopped state? Replicas are not creating here. What is not creating? What is the reason? What might be the reason the replicas are not creating? Docker service logs and give the service name. Just one on this for this one. We don't have any even logs also. Sir, what might be the reason? Let me inspect also. Docker service inspect. Docker service inspect. You can see this got created on so and so time. Let me show you. After I give the inspect command, this service got created at so and so time, updated at so and so time. It is the image actually Paytm DTH, and you can see the container is taking image from so and so place, and you can see the CPU and memory allocation. Everything is there. But why these replicas are also 3? But why these containers are not starting? Why these replicas is not working? What might be the reason? Application got deployed, but containers are not running. That is the issue. It's like operation success, but patient died. Application got deployed. Are you seeing it? Stack got deployed. Services is also going to deploy, but containers are not starting. Port is not the issue. Can you see any difference in here? I'll show you one compose file here. In the process, I'll show you one compose file. Is a volume. Okay. So see this one. Are you seeing any difference? Like service name, image, ports, volumes, deploy. There is one small thing you need to understand about this thing. Only one small thing. Replicas, huh? Replicas 3 correct only, na? One server. Replicas 3 correct only, right? 3 servers, 3 replicas. Correct. Movies 3 replicas, train 3 replicas, DTS 3 replicas. Correct only. Okay, you want me to check service, huh? Okay, let me go ahead and check the service also. Go to multi-exec mode. Docker, systemctl status Docker. What is the status of Docker service here? Active. Here also active. And here also active. Daemon is also working. But why? What might be the reason? Why it is not working? So I'll give you some time. So just check with yourself why it is not working. It is my previous Docker compose file. And in this process also, you can go and you can check here. Same thing we have done, like nothing we have left. I'll ask you to check one thing actually. That thing is images actually. If you go and see, go and check is the image correct we have given, like or like anything wrong in the image side. It is the complete image. Siraj 321 Paytm fine latest. In the Docker compose file, I need to check what is the image. Siraj 321. Here also Siraj 321. Okay. Docker compose file. Wait. Wait. Here it is Paytm train. Here also Paytm movies and Paytm train. Correct only, na? Like tag is also latest. What is the tag here? You can see. But why it is not working? What might be the reason? Just think. Which version? Why to change repo? Wait, let me show you in this way. First of all, I'll try to pull this image and let me check it is working or not. Give the command docker pull and this image. If the image is pulling, that is correct image, or if it is not pulling, there is something missing out there. Is the Docker image pulled here? That means that is perfect image only. Okay. Let me pull the train image also. First of all, I want you to make sure the image name that you have given is correct or not. How can you check? By using docker pull command. Docker pull and give the DTH. I will show you how to pull all the images. This is to make sure that you are using the correct image or not. Okay. If the image is correct, it will pull. Otherwise, it is not gonna pull. Every image is pulling now. Are you able to see? Finally, this also I'm gonna give. Control C. Docker pull. There you go. It working now? Let me remove the Docker stack one more time. Docker stack rm Paytm. I'm removing the stack and I'll go and deploy it one more time. And one more thing, let me remove these volumes actually. I'll remove these volumes intentionally. Commit. While building this one in the configuration section, let me check it one more time. Docker stack deploy, name of the stack and compose file docker compose.yml. Let me rebuild this one. This is the pipeline what you can use. Now let me go and check whether it got deployed or not. I removed the volumes, that's it. Apart from that, I haven't done anything. I just removed the volumes. So if I go and check docker stack ls, I got the stack. I need to check the containers docker ps-a. Have you got the containers now? Here I got the containers. Here also I got the containers and here also I got the containers now. Now enter the containers got deployed. Now what you can do is first of all copy the public IP address of manager 1. In manager 1, port number 81 is movies working. And in port number 82 is train working. And in port number 83 is DTH working. And finally port number 84 recharge. Is everything working in manager node? Yes. Now copy the public IP address of worker node 1 itself. Okay. So port number 81, are you seeing movies? And 82 train is working. 83 DTH is working. And 84 DG like recharge is also gonna be work. And finally, you have one more thing that is called as worker node 2. For the worker node to also copy the public IP address and give the ports. Port number 81 is there. Port number 82 is there. Fine. Port number 83, recharge you are having. And port number 84. Everything is working or not, sir? That's it. Okay. So, but what is the difference? First of all, we have given the volumes. After giving the volumes, the application is not deployed perfectly. But I removed the volumes. Is deploying it perfectly or not, sir? Yes. What I'll do is I'll remove this Docker stack one more time and I'll redeploy it. Docker stack rm. What is the name of the stack? Paytm. Okay, I'll redeploy it by adding volumes one more time. So if I go and see, click on this one, try to add the volume section. So after deploy also you can add volumes. Volumes. Let's take it as movies. And I'm gonna copy all of them. Copy. For second one it is train. Third one, DTH. And finally, recharge. Now I have added it one more time. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going and clicking on deploy one more time. And one more thing, if you don't want to deploy everything from the starting, you want to deploy only last stage, what you can do? Restart from the stage. I want to rebuild everything from deploy only. That means remaining things is not gonna work. So directly you're gonna deploy the application from deploy stage only. Okay, it is one of the best feature in the latest version of Jenkins. Now you go and check. I'm just giving the Docker stack ls. What I'm giving Docker stack? Stack got completed and the containers is. Sir, previously you given the volumes first time. But first time, is it deployed properly? No, but second time, why is deploying? It is only one small difference. Let me show you the small difference for you. For the first time, whenever you are deploying the application, I given volumes first and deploy last. But what I'm doing now? I'm changing the order. In the process also, if you go and see, in this one, you are having the volumes first and deploy last. Okay, when the deployment is not just working properly, just change the order itself. Okay, so sometimes eventually if you give everything perfectly also, it's not going to work due to some reasons. At that time, just remodify the compose file one more time. But again, it won't happen in all the cases. Only few cases it's going to happen for you. That's it. So now the application got perfectly deployed in all the servers and you can be able to access the application from any of the server. Correct or not, sir? That's it. So is the process of deploying the application in microservice clear for all of you? Just we wrote the Docker file and application code. We put this on where, sir? In the GitHub. From the GitHub, we take into Jenkins. In the Jenkins, we have the code. We build it, we tag it, we push to Docker Hub. And again, in the same pipeline, we put the compose file. From the compose file, we deployed the application to the Docker compose with the help of concept called Docker stack. So is the concept of Docker deployment clear for all of you? Everybody. All can you please confirm is the concept of deploying the Dockerized application in the cluster clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in chat box? Yes, fine. It's clear. Okay. So now finally, how is the Docker for all of you? Okay. But I wanna tell one thing for all of you, whatever the process you learned here, in real time, you are not going to use this process. It's completely waste, I can say. Why means in real time you don't use Docker, use Kubernetes. What you are going to use? If you go to 100 companies, how many companies? 99 companies will use Kubernetes rather than Docker. But again, sir, if companies are using Kubernetes, then why you said Docker for us? That is the question, right? If you want to learn Kubernetes, first of all, you need to learn Docker. In the Docker, you build the image. What you gonna build? Image. And this image you are going to use on the Kubernetes to deploy the multiple containers to the pods actually. But again, I'm telling you, these for knowledge purpose only. In real time, out of 100 companies, 99 companies will use Kubernetes. Only 1 or 2 companies will use Docker. But again, without learning the Docker, Kubernetes is not practically possible. That is the reason we took this much of time for Docker to understand everything in that deeply. In the real time, what is the use case of Docker? If you ask me, to build the images. Apart from building image, you don't do anything. Why? Because Docker is having a lot of limitations, sir. I'll tell you some of the limitations. Can we do load balancing by using Docker Swarm? Can we do auto scaling of a cluster? Cluster auto scaling, can we do? No. And can we deploy very big applications here? No, it's not possible. That is the reason instead of using Docker Swarm, we're gonna use Kubernetes in the practical world scenarios. But again, without understanding Docker, can we go for Kubernetes? Yes, sir. Who said yes, ma? Huh? No, no. Okay. Fine. Finally, it's time to say something actually. That is what we can call as moye moye. Correct or not? You learned 6 days, you learned the Docker for 6 to 7 days, and after that, you came to know that this is what we are not going to use in real time. So it's a moye moye movement or not, sir? Uh, Fine. Okay, just kidding. But again, if you understand Docker, Kubernetes will be very easy for you. That's it. And I want to make this moye moye situation into moye moye twice actually. Till now in Docker, how many comments you learned? Lot of comments, right? And how you done the process, everything from the command, correct or not, sir? But in Docker, everything you can do within the graphical user interface. Instead of using commands, you can go and you can do an interface. For example, to create the container, Docker run hyphen itd hyphen name container one image name port number. This much of lengthy command. But there is a concept called portainer, which is the graphical user interface for Docker. If you give a single click, that single click will create the container. You want to see it? Want to see it? Huh? Okay. Then chalo, let's go and see the poem also, correct. Fine. So, sir, in the process, actually, if you go and check out here, wait, let me remove all of them actually. I don't want every of the screen here, so I can remove completely. In the last section, you can see something called as portainer. What we can see? So portainer is a container organizer tool. Actually, it's a separate tool again. It's not inbuilt in Docker. Okay. So design it to make the task easy, whether they are clustered or not. The main purpose of portainer is to connect the multiple clusters. Here you are working on single cluster, but in real time, if you have more than one cluster, if you want to manage multiple clusters, you can use a concept called portainer. And one of the best part is you have stack actually. In real time, Docker will use stack to deploy the application. Let's take you have cluster number one and you have cluster number two. In cluster number one, you deployed the application. What you deployed? And this application, you want to migrate from cluster one to cluster two. You want to migrate from cluster one to. So in that case, this portainer is one of the best go through choice. And in real time, it is not for testing environments. We use it for production routines. Which companies? Production routines in very big companies actually. That means for testing and developing, we never use it. If it is production environment and it is very, very big company with big project, then only we're gonna use this one. And portainer will have two elements. One is portainer server, second one is portainer agent. Both will be running as lightweight Docker containers as a Docker engine. So in order to set up the portainer, first of all, you need to have swarm mode and enable the Docker engine. Do you have swarm mode now? And we have Docker engine enable. Yes. This first command will download a file actually. Let me copy this one. Go to the Docker Swarm Manager. Download this file. That is a compose file actually. Are you seeing compose file now? This one. Okay. Let me remove all of the rest of the files. I'm removing everything and I'm running the command one more time. So this file you are seeing now, that is portainer agent.stack. You can see the image, command, ports, volumes, network, deploy, everything just like we use it for Docker compose file. Same thing will be given to this one. And this is the third party tool. So nobody is going to write this file. This file you can download from internet for free of cost. After downloading this compose file, now with the help of Docker stack, I'm deploying the application called portainer and with the compose file called portainer agent stack.yml. Go and copy this one. That's it. If you go and see, now you'll be getting a portainer agent and portainer itself. Now go and give the command. You can see some new containers are going to run here now. Wait. Just copy the public IP address. So the portainer port number is going to be 9000. What is the port number of portainer? 9000. Now you are going to see the new application called portainer. It is the default name. User will be admin and password. You can set your own password. And the minimum character length will be 1 to 12. That is the minimum length actual. I think, wait. Click on create user. That's it. Now, currently, if I select on this one, how many stacks I have? What is the command to check the list of stacks? Docker stack ls. Are you seeing to? And how many services you are having now? Docker service ls. How many are there? 6 totally. How many? So if you go to dashboard, are you seeing 6 services? And how many containers we are having? 16. If you can go and see, so here Docker PS. So container 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sir, there are only 6 now. Where are the rest of the 10? In worker node 1 and in worker node 2. Here also we are having some containers now, like that. And how many total number of images we are having? How many volumes we are having? 5. How many networks we are having? 21. Let's go to containers list. What is the command to stop the container? Docker stop container name. But here simply select this one and click on. That's it. Your work is done. You don't need to run the command. And after stopping the container, what is the command to remove the container? Docker rm and give container rename. If you remove the container, automatically it is recreating or not, sir? So copy this one, select this one and click on delete, remove, that's it. Now automatically that is going to remove. What is the command to kill the container? Docker kill. But here if you can go, click on kill. Directly it got killed, correct or not, sir? And you can click on this one and you can be able to remove. And even you can do restart also. Click on restart. Is the container coming to running status now? Again. So if you select this one, you can stop it, you can start it, you can kill, you can restart, and you can pause also. Have I paused the container? Again, if I want to unpause, you can go resume like this. And what is the command to create a container? Create a container, Docker run -it, name of the container, image, port number, volume, everything. But here simply click on add container. Huh? What is the name of the container? I'm going to give it as Raham. I'm going to give it as. So image, you can take any image. I'm going to take it as Ubuntu image. Which image? But of course, you can take any image. Come to here, there is a special requirement. You want to deploy this container on manager, worker 1 or worker 2. Basically, by default, Docker CLI will not give this option. But Docker GUI will give this option. I want to deploy this on worker node 1. And after that, just to give some comments. If you want to add any comment, you can add comment. Okay. So here I'm going to click on interactive mode. Which mode? -it, right? Click on that one. And if you want to give any volumes, give volume here. If you want to give any network, add network, environment, labels, restart policy, resource, like how much of CPU and memory you want, you can give. But I don't want to give all of them. I just click on deploy container. Now automatically the container will be deployed or not, sir? Just to go back to containers. It failed. Of course, like it failed. Wait, let me container 1. It's not about Ubuntu. Let me give container 1. Page name is Ubuntu. Or you can go and search in the search option. You can go and you can search for any image. For example, I have gone for Ubuntu, but for Ubuntu, we need to give the tag also. Okay. So go for the tags. You can give 20.0 for it is a tag actually. Let me give it properly. Ubuntu 20.0. That's it. So deploy this on any of the container. Fine. I want to go inside. So interactive and click on deploy the container. Wait, it's reloading. Is the container got deployed now? What is the name of the container one? Sorry, container one is container. Basically, what is the command to check the logs of container? Docker login container. If you can go and see, are you seeing this one? Click on this one. Are you getting the logs of a container or not, sir? Yes. But in Docker CLI, we need to give a command. What is the command to check the CPU and memory utilization of a container? Stats. But if you place your cursor here, it is going to show you the complete inspect. Are you seeing the inspect information? It is for complete information. No, sir, if I want to get CPU and RAM, are you seeing the stats here? Are you seeing the CPU memory utilization of a container? And finally, if you can go here, if I want to execute a command inside the container, docker exec is the command. But here, if I go and click on this one, click on connect, I can run any command, ls, touch file one, again ls. Are you able to see or not? That means whatever you are doing from the CLI, Everything you can do from the GUI. From where you can do that GUI tool is called as portainer. Now tell me, do we really need to remember these many commands? Sir? No. Portainer can do the complete stuff or not, sir? Yes. Whatever you do from the CLI, everything you can do from the GUI. And there is something called as dashboard. If you go to dashboard, click on go to the cluster visualizer. In this cluster visualizer, you can see in the manager node how many CPUs I'm having, and memory is it is on ready status. In this manager node, your Paytm container is running, your movies container, your recharge, your train is running, your portainer agent container is running, your portainer container is also running. Simply this cluster visualizer can show you the complete information of your cluster. And coming to the refresh rate, for every 5 seconds, you are going to get new data. For example, if I add a new container to my cluster, automatically that new container will come to here itself. Is the point clear for all of you now? So this is how the things will be working on the portainer. Which one? And you can see number of tasks, how many number of tasks running here, how many number of services, everything you can check it, sir. And the best part is, even though if you want to create image also you can create. Click on build new image. So here you can write the name called Docker file. In this Docker file, you can go and give from Ubuntu. From Ubuntu, and you can give run apt update -y. So simply after giving this one, so click on select files, and one of the best options is you can go and select the local file also. For example, in local, if you have Docker file, put the Docker file on your local, upload the Docker file to here. For example, it's my Docker file. If I'm uploading it to here, automatically we can build this image by default. Okay. So you can use web editor, you can use upload option in select. If I use Docker file, of course, here I don't have any content much here, but I'm just uploading. I don't have any much content here. Click on upload and click on worker number 2 where you want to deploy, and you can go and you can directly deploy that one. So this is also one of the special feature we have in the portainer. Simply one thing I want to tell for all of you is portainer is the highest level of Docker visualizing tool. Whatever you can do from CLI, this portainer will allow you to do from GUI. And again, in real time, we use it for very, very big companies and that to production level activities. But for local dev environment, testing environment, we don't use this kind of tool. And we have the enterprise version also. It is completely free version. Which version? In enterprise version, you can create teams, you can give rollback permission for them, role-based access control. You know this one, right? That also we can do from the enterprise level. So that's it for the concept of Docker itself. So now by today, we completely end up with Docker. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the new concept called Kubernetes. Why? Because Docker Swarm is having a lot of limitation. Docker Swarm is a container orchestration tool, and Kubernetes is also going to be container orchestration tool. Simply, if I want to compare, Docker Swarm is just like a Maruti Alto. Just like a Maruti Alto. But whereas Kubernetes is a Rolls Royce. It is the best way to compare actually. Can Alto will have the complete features of Rolls Royce? No, correct or not, sir? That's it. But when to use Alto and when to use Rolls Royce? If we are poor, then we can use Alto. But if we are rich, we can use Rolls Royce. In real time, also, if the project is very small project, very small, in that case, you're gonna use Docker Swarm. But if the project is very big, so in that case, you're gonna use Kubernetes. That's it. Huh? How to remember this much of stuff? Huh? Very deep question actually. Very difficult question also. Everything depends upon. I don't say it's practice. Everything depends upon your willpower. If you are really passionate about the DevOps, passion like this, so practice is not a very difficult thing for you. Guys, I'm telling you one thing. In DevOps, first of all, I am not asking you to do the practice. All you need to have is workflow. How the process is going to happen. what is source code repository, how the source code repository integrate to Jenkins, what Jenkins will do, what build will do, what test will do, what Tomcat will do. This process is the first thing you need to have. And one of the craziest thing is experienced people don't know how to set up Jenkins, but they know what is happening inside the Jenkins. I'm betting you, if you go and speak with any of the experienced people in DevOps with at least 3 years, ask them to do Jenkins setup. They don't know the process, but they know what will happen inside Jenkins. They don't know the process of installing Ansible, but they don't know what will do with the Ansible. So all I want to tell for you is just understand the process. Even though if you practice or if it doesn't practice, that is secondary. First of all, learn the methodology, how this is working. Okay, then after next practice. That's it. Fine. Sir, your new class is going to start at 6 p.m. right? Yeah. So basically, a lot of people are waiting for the next batch. Next batch got started actually, but that is 6:15. But that is not here. That's on KPHP. Hmm. Yeah. So Durga, like Satyavani, it's gonna be on KPHP actually. I mean, like for online, it doesn't matter wherever it can be. But for offline, after this class, I need to travel to KPHP straight away. And the thing is, I have only 15 minutes to travel from here to there. But I'll try to reduce some class actually. So I'll take till 4:50 by just adjusting class minutes 10 minutes before. Currently, our class is at 4:30. Na? So in upcoming days, I'm gonna just move it to 4:20 or 4:15 like that. But you need to be flexible with me, right? Also. Uh, okay. Sir, what is the must topics in Docker in real time? Must topic is gonna be first of all Docker file. Very, very important topic. Docker file. Okay. If you use both Docker and Kubernetes on your organization, you need to focus on Docker file only. With the help of Docker, we build Docker file only. When if your organization is using both Docker and Kubernetes, but if your organization is using only Docker, so then you need to learn Docker file, Docker compose, Docker sum, everything you need to learn. Hope it is clear for you, Vikram. And Docker Hub also. So KPHP, it's gonna be demo session. So that means everything I'm gonna start from scratch again, Krishnaveni. Sorry, Satyaveni, sorry. And Nikhil sir, aptitude is required for it or not? No, it's not required. Load balancing, auto scaling, deployment for large application. Any drawbacks of? Yes, definitely. We have a lot of drawbacks in the Docker sum actually, Akhil. So I'm gonna tell what are the drawbacks in tomorrow's session. Don't worry about it. And what is OpenShift? OpenShift is one of the alternative for your Docker Swarm actually. So you can use Docker Swarm or you can use Kubernetes or you can use OpenShift or even you can use Apache Mesos. Anything you can use to deploy the containerized applications for the. These are the alternatives for our container deployment applications. I mean like container deploying clusters, I can say. Okay. Kubernetes will take more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks minimum. I'll teach Kubernetes, then AWS, finally Terraform. Total how many days? Huh? I can't say that. Roughly 1 month, minimum 1 month roughly. What is the data? By next month 10th, you can expect. That is expected, but not sure. It can take more than that also. 1 week at it. Yeah? 15, you can expect. 15. Sir, but in my college says that the aptitude is required for the interview selection. It's of course, guys, I'll tell you why this aptitude is gonna be required for you. See, I'll tell you one thing. If you go for a company, there are only 2 positions. How many positions? Now 100 people applied for that 2 positions. Now, can I interview 100 people? It will take a lot of time, right? That is the reason I want to save a lot of time. So I'll put 1 hour of aptitude testing. I'll put aptitude test within 1 hour. Within 1 hour, I can filter out all the students or not, sir. Aptitude is just to make the filter, but that is not the primary criteria. I'll tell you one thing. If aptitude is that much of important in companies, why you don't do mathematics lekkal, sir? Are you going to do mathematics in computer in your organization, sir? Aptitude is the main thing for the person who is preparing for UPSC, who is going for government jobs, who is going for some different mathematics sections. For these people, it is required. But for a software engineer, aptitude and reasoning is not required. It's only just to filter it out. And it can enable your logical thinking. That's it. But apart from that, it's not really required. And in college level, your interview process must start with aptitude only. But if you come to outside of the organization, we'll never keep any aptitude. I hope it is clear for you, Nikhil. Yes, Shivani, I'm gonna cover Helm charts also in this course. Helm is also there. And one more thing, for today's class, we don't have notes. Actually, everything is given to the Docker MS project. Yesterday notes, I'll give it now. But for today's project, your notes is on Docker MS project. Okay, I'll give this repository link for all of you for this project. I know yesterday notes is not uploaded. Why? Because yesterday we got the internet issue for complete building here. Okay, it's not my issue actually. So okay, fine. And so I'm gonna give project repo. So guys, any more queries or any more doubts from your end? And the only thing I want to ask for all of you is, what is your expectation about Kubernetes? Is Kubernetes going to be easy or difficult? Difficult. How many of you say it is difficult? Raise your hands. You people think it is difficult, huh? రేపు మాట్లాడుకుందాం కల్ దేఖలేంగే guys, I'll tell you one thing. If you ask lot of people, Kubernetes is gonna be very, very difficult, but it's not. If you ask me, why? Because if you want to understand the Kubernetes, you need to start with the core concept called architecture. Lot of people will fail to understand the architecture. That is the reason these people will tell Kubernetes is going to be very, very difficult. But if you understand the core concepts, it is going to be very, very easy. If you see YouTube, lot of people will tell, first of all, it is very difficult, but it is not. Okay. And is anyone following YouTube channels also here parallelly? Which channel you are following for DevOps? Kunal. Okay. And okay. Next. Are like that you are here you are following, but I'm asking about any YouTube reference that you are taking. Okay. So in all of these three channels, what you said to me, you listened about Docker, you listened about Jenkins, and you listened about Ansible also. From there to here, if you compare our series with their series, which one is the most easiest way to understand? Right? You followed one of the best channel actually. That lot of people will think best channel, but when it comes to practical world, which one has given the more clarity for you? Siraj. This one only, right? No need, no need. Okay. I mean, the reason why I'm telling is it all depends upon the way we teach actually. So somebody like lot of people will have a lot of ways to teach. But whatever that way I'm teaching you, first of all, I'm comparing real-time scenarios with real-time topics. That is the reason why you are feeling it very, very easy. You also? I had already, but not now. Basically, I have done a playlist in Telugu. You don't believe within 4 months, it crossed 4.5 lakh views within 4 months. But that again, that we removed actually. I came to this professional field, right? If I put the content there and if I teaching here, nobody will come to here now. That's the reason. I mean, that is not my channel actually. That is some other person's channel. But that is, I think, by this time, if the channel is there, it almost all might be crossed to 1.5 million. That I'm sure. Why? Because within 4 months, 4.5 lakh is gonna be. It's not that much of easiest thing. And during at that time, when I started the DevOps playlist, there is no other channel which started the playlist. That is the first Telugu channel actually, which started the DevOps complete playlist, but it is not existed anymore. Right now I can't. Okay. Paid version? Huh? No, I don't want to make it paid version. And one of the important thing I want to tell you is all of you forgot my repository here. All setups. This is gonna be helpful for all of you. Why? Because I'm telling you, a lot of the real-time persons who is on manager level and team leader level, these people are using my scripts actually. The reason why I want to tell you is if you go to the organization, if they want you to set up any tool, within minutes you can do. You know, your what we call this one, Venkat, you know, right? Our lab mentor actually. He gone to an organization. Like I'm gonna tell what he faced actually. Before 4 months of Venkat, some other people joined actually. And there are some 3 years of experience people in the real time also. Like one guy is his team leader. He has gone to the company. And in company, whenever a junior will go and join a senior will try to dominate them. So seniors try to dominate him actually. They said that you are fresher, what kind of knowledge you have, you don't know anything about DevOps. These people start to say to Venkat like this. Then after that, team leader gave a task to the Venkat actually. They asked them to set up the Prometheus Grafana. Which one? Their experienced people are trying to set the Prometheus Grafana from 2 days, but he set up the Prometheus Grafana within 1 minute. These people got shocked actually. They don't have even any other words also. After that, they asked him to install SonarQube. Experienced people failed to install SonarQube, but this guy set up SonarQube within 30 seconds. How many seconds? Then, though, after setting the 2 tasks, their team leader and the rest of the seniors stopped asking to do the task anymore. Why? Because they try to test the knowledge, but his knowledge is very great. Why? Because he learned from here actually. So after doing these first 2 tasks, they never give any kind of task from him. And from them, like if they got any kind of doubts, these people are going to approach Venkat now. These are the same words what he shared to me couple of days back actually. When he come to lab, for every Saturday he come to lab, you can speak with him and you can check whether whatever I said here is reality or not. And unfortunately, the team leader and team seniors are using our scripts from real time actually. It's not with the Venkat. It's happened with a lot of my other students also. A lot of the other students who placed in various companies, still those team are using my scripts. And one of the silliest thing is the person with almost all 7 years of experience who is working as a team leader there, he took videos from my course actually. He took videos from our course, but having with the experience of 7 years. Now imagine how much of subject you're gonna learn here. Okay. So guys, I wanna tell for all of you is if you learn this subject end to end, you need not to refer any kind of YouTube tutorials. You need not to refer any kind of other videos, and you need not to worry about your career also. This is enough to survive in the real time. That I can give guarantee for you. Okay. So start preparing from now itself. I am betting you, you can crack any kind of interview within the first 2 attempts only. You are going to get the job. First attempt, give it for God. Second attempt, give it for yourself. Okay. That's it I want to tell. Okay. So any queries or any doubts if you are having still? No? All in, what about you guys? Any queries or any doubts? Okay. So that's it. So let's meet on tomorrow's session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Bye.